Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Pratiwi Tanira Chimita. Okay, I will continue the material from Zahra about linguistic deficit. Related area where sociolinguistic research has provided useful in the area of educational testing. Sociolinguistics have successfully demonstrated that claims that minority group children and working class children were linguistically deprived were general based on inadequate tests. The major contribution that sociolinguistics have made in this area is to provide evidence about the effect of contextual factor on speech. An example will serve to illustrate this point in order to determine the extent of their vocabulary and grammar. It is usual to ask children to complete a number of language tests at on time. These tests were often administered by an adult strange from a different social background from the child and sometimes from a different ethnic group from the child too has a role. A child was interviewed individually in a quiet room in the school. Children from minority and working class background who were tested under this condition general did not do well. They respond monosyllabically, saying as little as possible and escaping with relief after it was all over. Middle class children, on the other hand, tends to do much better. They were much more willing to answer questions at length. Okay, next, this is about example you can to see on my slide. The kind of question the interviewer asks will also be more familiar to middle class children. Middle class parents are much more likely to ask children to display what they know. When grandma visits, for instance, little Poundline instructed, "Tell grandma what you did on Sunday." This kind of question is used in language tests too, like "Tell me everything you can about this picture." To a child who is used to being asked question like this question, to which the questioner obviously know the answer, such instructions are not a problem. Other children may find them puzzling and wonder if there is catch or a trick involved. In other words, the testing conditions are not the same for all the children. Sociolinguistics were able to provide evidence that children who responded monosyllabically in a test interview were followed and communicative in different contexts with their friends. For instance, one researcher saw that the evaluative construction used in storytelling by the African American teenagers that he recorded were more developmentally advanced or mature than those used by the whites. In other words, claim that these children were linguistically defined or had no language or were limited to a restricted code could be wrongly refuted. Okay, next is about example you can to see on my slide. A secondary level student, age 10 above, sociolinguistics have explored more specifically the ways in which the vocabulary range of middle-class children differs from that of working-class children. Through wide reading of the kinds of books that teachers approve of an exposure to the vocabulary of well-educated adults. Some children are more familiar than others with words of Graeco-Latin origin. These words like education, exponent, relation, and expression make up between 65% and 100% of the specialist vocabularies of subjects taught in secondary school and tertiary institutions. Obviously, children who are familiar with such words will be at an advantage. One study saw that between the age of 12 and 50, massive difference developed in the oral use of such words by the children from different social backgrounds. Okay, Next slide is about sociolinguistic and forensic linguistic. You can find again the example on my slide. The person transcribing the West Indian man's statement in this case was unfamiliar with the variety of English that he spoke, and so, although she honestly transcribed what she thought he said, she was wrong. Fortunately, a qualified linguist who was familiar with the range of variation in different dialects of English was able to provide an alternative and much more reliable account of what the West India had said. Forensic linguistics work in a very wide range of social contexts. In addition to research about how language is used in written and spoken legal settings, they also provide expert evidence to court about language issues. Sometimes this involves analysis of language and communication in legal contexts, such as police interviews, courtroom interaction, or legal documents. Or it may entail examining language used in academic writing, or for example in plagiarism cases, and trademarks and phone conversation, in the messaging and in email interaction. In providing expert evidence to court, forensic sociolinguistics aim to identify sociolinguistic clues and understanding which will assist in resolving legal questions and contribute to justice being done. Okay, next slide is about grammatical evidence has supported claim that a text written to explain procedure was incomprehensible, thus accusing an error which has serious consequences. Linguistics have also identified grammatical strategies which can disadvantage witnesses in court cases. The passive voice and intransitive verb, for example, are often used by defense lawyers to avoid attributing agency to a person accused of a crime, as in example 17. Okay, you can see example 70 on my slide. In all these examples, the agent has disappeared and the focus has shifted to the victim. The synthetic of a question also limit the range of feasible answer, and thus the range of information the others feel free to offer, has illustrated below. If in court, for example, you are asked the question, "Did you drink more than 2 glasses of beer?" Then inhibited by the formal context, you may feel you are restricted to answering only yes. A more informative response might be, "I had 3 small glasses over 4 hours, accompanied by a large meal." Moreover, the latter answer might well provide a more useful basis for evaluating your ability to drive at the end of the evening. Okay, the last slide is about example 18. The semantic feature of word can convey a very different association with important consequence. Walking around sound purposeful, for example, while wandering around suggests aimless activity. A subtle difference which may be significant to the impression that the jury form about someone's character. In some dialect, going party implies drug and sexual activity, like it means more than just go to a party. And such distinction may be significant under cross-examination. The semantic scope of word can also be relevant. For example, when a Torres Strait Creole speaker uses the word kill, it sounds like the English word meaning cause to die. But in Torres Strait Creole, kill means hurt or maim. The potential for cross-cultural misunderstanding and the serious implication in assault or murder case or abuse. I think that's all for our presentation, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.